Usually when you put on a pair of headphones, you just expect to hear a song, like a melody, a beat, maybe something to just tap your foot to.
Right, just a standard track.
Exactly. But then you hear a track that doesn't just play in your ears, it actually builds this whole room around you. You step inside and suddenly you realize you're basically walking around inside someone else's mind.
Yeah, it is a very physical listening experience.
It really is. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at INK2FRM's track, My Own Sign, specifically the reggae dub inner voice dialogue version. And looking at the production notes and the lyrical transcript, let's unpack this, because this isn't just a reggae song.
No, not at all. It's essentially an auditory staging of a battle for identity.
Mm-hmm.
And to build the walls of this, mental battlefield, the production notes show they actually drop the tempo way down.
Down to a crawling 70 beats per minute, right?
Yeah, exactly 70 BPM, which, it forces this very deliberate, really heavy physical sensation. The whole foundation is this hypnotic, slow bass line that kind of acts like an inner heartbeat, just pushing you forward.
Yeah, it really does.
But what's fascinating here is the rhythm section, specifically the use of a classic roots reggae one-drop drum groove.
Okay, so I know the term one drop gets thrown around a lot in reggae, but mechanically speaking, what does that actually mean for the overall vibe of the track?
Well, in a one-drop groove, the kick drum actually skips the first beat of the measure.
Wait, it just skips the one?
Yeah, it skips the one. And psychologically, that creates this intense feeling of suspension. You were constantly waiting for that anchor to drop.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. It perfectly mirrors the narrator's hesitation to find their own identity, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. And it's accompanied by these really crisp guitar chords hitting on the offbeats. Plus, way in the back, you have these distant melodica textures.
It almost sounds like a distant memory, or maybe a true voice just fading out. But the detail in these notes that I honestly can't stop thinking about is the delay. They absolutely drench the vocals and snare hits in this Roland RE201 style analog tape echo.
Oh yeah, that vintage tape delay is so crucial. Because it's not just some pristine digital copy of the sound.
Right, because the analog tape actually degrades, doesn't it?
It does. It degrades and warps the audio a little bit more every single time it repeats.
So it ends up sounding less like a concert and more like, I don't know, a hallucination.
A hallucination is a great way to put it.
Thanks. I mean, it physically mimics the feeling of your own doubts just ricocheting off the inside of your skull, warping every time they hit the wall. It actually makes a mix with very few instruments feel suffocatingly full, which is a wild, psychedelic, cinematic space to be in.
It really is. And because the production builds this echoing mind space, the vocals naturally take on the role of conflicting thoughts trapped inside it.
The vocals are incredible, by the way. This warm, gravelly, male baritone.
Yeah, the delivery is great, but the structure relies entirely on a call and response setup.
Right. I was looking at these lyrical transcripts earlier, and I actually got a bit confused at first. It reads way more like a script for a stage play than a standard song structure. Like, who is the narrator actually talking to?
Well, they are talking to themselves. The text identifies two distinct personas. You have the dark voice, and then you have the true or wise voice.
So the dark voice represents the societal pressure, right? Like that crippling inner doubt.
Exactly. It's the voice whispering horrible things like, run away, hide your scars, basically telling the narrator they just don't belong.
And then the true voice pushes back against that with this really quiet, emotional honesty. It responds with things like, your truth was never meant to hide. And it insists on choosing its own steps.
Even if that means walking blindly into a storm. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this structure perfectly frames the central theme here, which is self-discovery versus social commentary.
Because you have the external world pressing in on him?
Right. The lyrics explicitly say they call it order, I call it a cage, and the narrator is fighting that cage to find, as the track puts it, silence in the sound.
See, there's a friction here that I keep getting stuck on, though, because the lyrics say they call it order, which points the finger at society.
Yeah.
But the music, as we just discussed, is entirely internal. So who is the real villain here? Is it society trying to make him sign his mind away, or is it just his own internal fear of taking the leap?
Well, that raises such an important question, and I think the brilliance of the track is that it's actually both. Societal pressure creates that dark voice, but the battle is fought entirely inside the narrator's head.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and as the arrangement progresses, it evolves from that intense conflict into this incredible, quiet power.
The ending captures that perfectly. The whole track resolves in this fading dub echo, where the dark voice gives this final lingering whisper. It says, "You'll never escape."
And the true voice just calmly replies, "I was never trapped."
It is such a stunning resolution.
It really is. I highly encourage everyone listening to go check out the full song. You really need to hear how this minimalist arrangement slowly builds that emotional impact to truly feel that final realization.
Absolutely. So as you step out of that echoing mental space and back into the real world, we'll leave you with this to think about today.
Go for it.
The song asks, who am I beneath these names? If you stripped away every label, every number, and every script that society has ever handed to you, well, what would be the rhythm of your own sign? Let us know your interpretation in the comments. Until next time, keep listening to the voices that matter.